What's up, everybody? Anthony Renato here with another episode of the Up and In Show. I'm on the purple couch in Cards and Culture. If you guys are watching on YouTube, thank you guys. What's going on? Hope everything is good. If you guys are listening on the radio, I appreciate it. You're going to have to bear with me because you guys won't have the visual effects that other people will. Usually I have a guest to help entertain, so today I've actually brought some little gadgets with me that I'm going to have on set and talk about. We just got back from Miami. I say that it was like last week we got back. I was there for Art Basel and a cool crypto convention talking about digital collectibles and kind of understanding that world a little bit. And again, if you guys hear what's going on in the background, I am in the shop. We are open right now. My guests for this week all canceled, so I'm just kind of on the fly here. So we're going to talk about what I was doing there in Miami, a little bit updates with the shop, with the holidays coming up, that kind of stuff, and talk about what I learned, I guess, maybe at Art Basel and some of the things that I saw, maybe the things I'm going to apply here in Cards and Culture. But crypto week was a little disappointing. I don't know if you guys have followed my journey a little bit. I've really enjoyed exploring crypto and that technology, the blockchain technology. The last year or two, I really think that the collectibles world is really going to be, really affected. Yeah, I do. I think that the collectibles world is going to be changing a lot in the next couple of years with blockchain technology. I'm not smart enough to know how that's going to look or which way it's going to go. But I do know that what the blockchain offers as a technology source is 100% applicable to our world and as collectibles, digital collectibles, whether that's even just the way that we go to events and keep our souvenirs and things like that. I think those are going to be really affected. So when I went to Miami this week, I brought Jonah and Kylie with me, and it was I was looking forward to DecentralCon because I went there last year. It was really educational for me as somebody new to the crypto space, digital collectibles, NFTs, that kind of stuff. It was a really great event. This year, though, I was a little disappointed. There was not as many qualified, I don't want to say qualified, but people that I was interested in listening to speak. I think last year the industry was so new, and there was a lot of people innovating and coming into the space that there was a lot of big name people that were exploring blockchain technology, utilizing it in their businesses. So that's kind of what I was looking forward to, is hearing how a couple bigger brands or different industries were viewing the blockchain and the technology and non-fungible tokens, which are NFTs and digital collectibles, and how overall the crypto world was being adopted, in the mass. So it was a little disappointing because the talks were a little boring. They were a little repetitive. There was just not as much energy and information. Now, we know it's crypto winter. There's a lot of things that are down. A lot of people have lost money. There's things that are not valued the same as they were a year ago. So I think that had a lot to do with it, but it doesn't change the fact that as a small business owner, we spent a decent amount of coin to go there, and I didn't feel like the ROI was that great. One of the things I will say, though, I think is this technology is here to stay. I think it's a lot like the mid to late 90s, maybe early 2000s. I don't even know if we've hit the bubble yet. I think last year was a little bit of a bubble, but I think that there's going to be continuous ebbs and flows of this over the next couple of years while we iron out this technology. Just like when the internet was involved, computers were created, right? This was a new technology. It was a new way to communicate. It was a new way to spread information, to learn information. And that's kind of what I think the blockchain is doing. It's such a transformational technology that there's going to be crazy valuations tied to things that may not have value in the future, but it's an idea and a concept, right? So I think navigating those worlds is really important. And I think in the digital collectible space, we saw it last year where these pictures and JPEGs had so much value to people in the short term, right? And I was involved in it because I enjoyed it. It was fun to learn the technology, and I made a little bit of money in the short term, knowing that I was playing with money that I could afford to lose and things like that, because a lot of the projects are going to go to zero and not have long-term value. But I think the things that I learned education-wise during that time were pretty priceless, and something that I'm going to take forward, in our business model. So. And just like everything else, right? Amazon was around in 1997. We didn't know what it was or how it was going to transform our lives. And we didn't know it was going to look the way that it does today, but it was there, right? So I think that there's a lot of players in this space that are going to be here in 20 years, and they're going to evolve and change and grow, right? So I want to be in there on the mix in the beginning and see how they grow and change. And that's kind of where I am with the collectibles, the art, and that kind of stuff, and why we went to Art Basel, because I think a lot of artists are really making a name for themselves right now. They're utilizing the blockchain to kind of expand that and take back a lot of their ownership of things. And to me, that's really intriguing. So I think that's more what this episode is going to be about, is more of how I see, some of the things I learned in Miami and what I'm taking here. I have some really cool actual collectibles with me today. I don't know what's in frame here in this video and what you guys will be able to see, but something that I really want to explore, and especially with Cards and Culture, we are a collectibles shop. Obviously, we specialize in sports cards and memorabilia and sneakers, those types of things. But I think that there is a new emerging space, and I don't think it's crazy new. I think that it's always been there, but I think with technology, AI, and again, this blockchain technology where you can verify, these vinyl figures and collectibles that are cool and have sentimental value for people, but now with little things like NFC technology where you can put a chip into these figures, and I'm gonna hold them up, but these little things right here I think are cool pieces done by artists that I think are innovative in the space or have a well-known name or have value to them, and now that they can create these little collectibles that people can have a piece of, touch, hold, but there's digital ownership to that on a ledger, which is the blockchain. And so to me, that's what NFTs are going to represent, or at least coincide with the physical world. I think we're going to use NFT technology, which is non-fungible tokens. I hate using that word and that buzzword, because even one thing I did learn at DecentralCon was we need to get rid of the term NFT. 99% of people think it's a bad thing. So I want to say digital collectibles, but utilizing the NFT technology, crypto technology, blockchain technology. I think we're going to be able to verify these things, that it's authentic, it's real, it was designed by the artist that it says it was designed by. And then we're going to be able to tap our phones or devices and things, and it's going to pull up all this information. It's going to be verified with some digital tokens. And those things will be held in your wallet value-wise, and you'll be able to trade these things just, on those different platforms and technologies. I think eBay, one of the things that we did learn, we went to a really cool eBay VIP party type thing, get together, and we met the head of eBay vaulting. And if you're unfamiliar with what they're doing in the sports card world, something really cool that eBay is doing is they're utilizing this digital collectible space. So we'll be able to send in cards and they'll vault it at the eBay vault. And if you want to buy or sell that card, you'll have a digital collectible that will represent that card in the vault, and you'll be able to just buy and sell that digital collectible almost. So that way, if you don't really have interest in holding the tangible card, I know a lot of people do, but in a world that things are changing into a more digital space where digital things are valuable and having physical items that take up space and you can't share them, not as many people see them, I understand it. So I think it's really cool what eBay is doing. I'm holding in my hand a little piece that they gave us at the collectible VIP event. They gave us some really cool pieces. They're like art cards kind of, and their event was called Culture is Collectible. So it was a really cool event put on by Collectible, the app, and eBay Collectibles. And so we got there and we just networked with some people. There were some artists that were supposed to talk, but there was some bad weather that night. It was really windy, so we didn't get a chance to listen, or they actually didn't do it. But they did give us some cool things to take home from Art Basel, and that's what it was. So this one here is a really cool piece by Annie Friedman, and they're numbered out of 300. So this is 135 out of 300. It's just a really cool thing commemorating the event and that kind of stuff. And this was a shoe that was actually a huge painting. We might actually have it in shop. I met the artist, Adam Port. He's really nice guy, but he does some really cool sneaker art. He's very enamored by the sneaker world. And passionate about that. So it was a really cool piece there. So they gave us this stuff, but I think going back, I'm bouncing around, I know a little bit, but I think that the vault is something that is really intriguing to me, and that I took away from going to that event was I'm really excited to see what eBay does with that. They told us there that there's 2 sports cards sold every second throughout the day. So it's one of their highest producing volume movers on the site. So I think that's going to be really cool to see how the digital space even expands that network, right? I think there's a lot of friction to if I buy a card maybe this week, right, because Joe Burrow's playing really well, but then maybe in 2 weeks I want to sell it, but maybe I've only had it for a week, and the transit time actually takes too long, and I don't have the card to sell it online, and maybe he gets hurt, right, or something along those lines. Again, I'm just throwing things out there, but I think it reduces the amount of time that things happen, right? And ownership. So I'm excited to see what they do there. And I think that it'll just expand the market and the amount of people that are into the hobby. So I think that was one of the biggest takeaways that I had. And then that's why I have the collectibles here. I think one of the biggest things that I saw in Miami as we were walking around, we were, it was Arts Fest, Arts Week and things like that. And obviously Art Basel in Miami, it's one of the biggest weeks of the year in Miami. That people from all over the world come, all artists, all shapes, demographics, forms of art. It's absolutely incredible. And so one of the things that I think I appreciate about Miami is their culture, their sense of style and things like that. So going into a couple different shops, whether it was a clothing shop, whether it was a shoe shop, whether it was just a culture shop, right? Like where, you just walked in and there's like cool stuff. I think that's what cards and culture is. I think it speaks volumes to who we are, that we can expand, navigate, and pivot into different industries and categories and have a plethora of stuff here in the shop. And so I think one of the things I really, really want to explore this year are these vinyl figures from well-known artists or well-known brands that are putting on something that have a story to tell. So like I said, I have this one from here. I met Ron English. We waited in line and got him to sign the box here. But something really cool that about him is he's just really developed a cool brand for himself. And so he's known as the godfather of street art, which is really cool because he's like 60. You got to be 60-something years old. And you just wouldn't expect who it is. But he's created this whole almost metaverse world. And, I know that's another trigger word for people that aren't into crypto and that kind of stuff, but it's called Delusionville. And the amount of fans that he threw this rave, like rager party and everything, and from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning, and there was hundreds of people that went. So I'm like, oh, this is really interesting to me to see these artists have these fan bases that are loyal, and that to me is what I think creates value over time, right? Is these people are catching all of his drops and all the things that he's doing. He's innovating in the space and doing things that people haven't done before, which is truly art to me and what makes these things collectible. So, obviously he's got his metaverse world and these different things that he's doing in Delusionville. But I think what caught my eye, and from a collector's standpoint and a shop owner standpoint, he's got this like really cool collection called the Serial Killers. And so what he does is he kind of puts his creative spin in like pop culture a little bit, making fun of marketing and the way that, economics are played out in the world based on marketing ploys and toys and stuff like that. So what he's done is kind of taken the traditional logos. Obviously this is the Honey Nut Cheerios bee, right? And called it Honey Butt, the obese bee, right? And so we had him to sign the box here. It was super cool, but he puts a little spin on it, and he's even using the way that the brands market themselves and stuff to put his own spin on it. He has like ingredients and stuff, and he calls his little brand Propaganda. But it looks, even if the Disney logo, it's a play on the Disney logo. He's got, instead of Quaker, he's got Faker here, and it's just like his face on top of it. I don't know. It's just funny stuff to me that I think creates a cool little brand and makes Ron cool and different and innovative. So I'm going to try to collect all of his little individual serial killers here, and we're going to have them in the shop. So again, I got one piece here. He signed this box here. But then something else I want to talk about. I don't know if you guys see this or not, but now you guys do. I brought it into the frame here. This was something that I bought in April of 2022. Was it, or 2021? It might have been 2021. I'm not going to lie. I got to look it up and find out. It might have been over a year. So I thought I actually had just lost this. I didn't think that it was going to come true. I thought maybe something happened and the production run didn't work out. But if you guys are familiar with digital collectibles, NFTs, the Bored Ape Yacht Club is a brand in the space, and it's just created this crazy frenzy, and they absolutely kill it. Their valuation, they got to be, I think they're over $1 billion valuated. They had some actual seed investments, into their company and business and their brand, because really all they are is just a digital presence and have a presence in the metaverse and NFT world. But what I think is an opportunity in this world, in the collectibles world, is how these digital collectibles actually turn into physical art. So a brand that I'm really appreciative of and that I really like is a brand called Super Plastic. And what they're a designer toy company, and what they do is they create physical collectibles through vinyl figures and things like that, and they partner with artists and brands and create these toys almost and figures. So what they did was they actually bought a Bored Ape because they do have a big presence in the digital space. They've created 2 celebrity, almost NFT characters, and they have a whole storyline. They partnered with Gucci and all these big brands and stuff. So they've done a great job creating brand awareness and having just a solid brand in the physical world, but in the digital world as well. So they were ahead of the game. They bought a Bored Ape early in the game. And so what they did is they used that ownership of that ape to create a toy or a concept for a toy or a figure. And once they did that, they got the Bored Ape owners on board, and it was a very organic process, and they collaborated together to create 4 or 5 pieces, and they used the Web3 technology. And I do think that this is the way that we're going to have subscriptions and almost like communities going forward. The same way that you log into websites and you guys have your personal information stored there, I think Web3 is going to allow you to own all your information and use digital, collectibles, NFTs to log into their websites. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Super Plastic leveraged that technology for these drops. It was really, really cool. So they had 4 different figures that were available. And if you were an owner of a Bored Ape or a mutant ape, you had a 15-minute window to go get an exclusive piece and claim it within 15 minutes. And then you had to pay for it with your Ethereum. And so you had 15 minutes. And then the same thing, I was an owner of a Super Plastic NFT early in the game. I bought in one of their celebrity things that they had dropped. And so I was an owner of that, and that allowed me to log in for 15 minutes, and I got this exclusive Bored Ape figure just because I was a holder of that, and that was the only way that I could get it. So you had to buy the NFT, own the NFT, and then it verified it through your digital wallet that you were the owner of it. And then you were able to go check out and buy this piece. Then they allowed for a public sale as well, so you didn't have to own any NFTs to do that. But that was the 3rd piece to the collection. And then there was a 4th piece too. That was if you were a holder of both, you got this other one. That was a 4th one. So this is called the Super Plastic Skipper because I had the Super Plastic NFT. So this one will be in shop. I actually got 2 of them because I didn't know how valuable it was going to be, and I kind of wanted to hold one in the shop forever. And then if the prices went up, they've already actually doubled of the price that I bought them for. If you look on StockX or eBay or that kind of stuff. So it's already kind of fun to see that it's, I would get 100% ROI on my investment for one of them, but I'm going to hold them for a little while and see how it goes just as this space continues to evolve. I think the 2 brands are going to be in this space forever. So to own one of their first pieces together, I think is going to be pretty historic and create a lot of value. So this is one that's going to be in shop. If you guys are in Baton Rouge, you guys want to come by and see it. We're also going to do a collectible special on it. I do a weekly collectible catch up, kind of like talking about new things that I have in the shop or new things that I think are coming out that are going to be cool. So make sure you guys check that out. It's really, really cool. And the box is just dope too. Like look at this branding. I mean, again, if you guys check out our Instagram, we'll have a little bit more in depth. But I mean, this is Super Bored is the name of the collection that they did for the 4 pieces, and it's just like, I mean, this is just high quality. Oh, on the back it says this is art, not a toy. Okay, so I gotta make sure I use the right lingo. I think it's art, but I know some people don't think that and just think that they're toys. But I think in a space where pictures and videos have a lot of value in the world, things that you can put in pictures and videos and have some sort of that you have ownership of, that some sort of coolness to them or uniqueness to them, or have just like unique style or look, I think are really interesting. So yeah, we got these in the video. But yeah, guys, I mean, this was just a quick catch up. Again, a couple of my guests backed out on me this week. We've had some weird weather. People are traveling. But my next guest is hopefully going to be Blaine Enlow. He's a up and coming pitcher in the Minnesota Twins organization, kid from Baton Rouge. He's got some really cool, I think he's got a really cool, unique story. So I'm excited to sit down with him and just hear his maturation, points and things that he's evolved from a high school pitcher, taking, in the draft and not going to college and going right into pro ball. I think it'll be a really cool perspective. So again, guys, if you guys are watching on YouTube, thank you. That means you're probably subscribers, but if not, please subscribe, like, share my videos. It actually goes a long way for me. If you guys are fans or supporters, that's a way to kind of give back to me, that where you don't have to, do anything other than just share what you liked about the show. If you guys are on iTunes, please just share it with your friends. If you enjoy it, that goes a long way. Give me a review. That goes a long way for the time. And if you guys are here, again, thank you guys. I appreciate the community that we've built, the people that have been listening for a long time, family, friends, all these people that I've collaborated with in business. It's been a really cool journey. The podcast has been a lot of fun for me. So I appreciate you guys being here. I got some really cool things coming up with Cards and Culture throughout the holidays. We got some great sales in Baton Rouge. F45, my 2 gyms are killing it, and I've really enjoyed getting to know some new trainers and having some new business practices there. And there's going to be some really cool developments, I think, coming from F45 and Carrie and some of the things. If you guys are listeners here, you've heard Carrie Bourgeois on my podcast. She has a really cool brand called the KB Way, and we're doing a little collaboration where we're going to produce some clothes for her and for Cards and Culture, and also promote a little bit of healthy living and positivity and happiness throughout the process. So if you guys see anything with Hey Smile, it's a cool little brand that we're going to start promoting here in the shop. We're going to design some clothes that look pretty cool and have some cool influencers kind of wearing it. But that's something I'm really excited about going into 2023. As far as, developments with Cards and Culture at F45, I think it'll allow me to be a little bit more in the health and wellness fitness space that I really enjoy and thrive in. I feel like I've gotten a little derailed from that in the second half of 2022. Just with some things of business and moving and things like that. So I'm looking forward to the start of 2023 and a little bit more of healthy living for myself, but also helping, push that out into the world and the members in the community that we built with F45. I think hopefully we'll appreciate it and get back to some of the things that we started with F45 and got us really jumped, with a great community. Again, thank you guys. I'm always saying thank you, appreciative of the time that you guys put in to listen to this. And if you do share it or review it, again, thank you guys, and I will see you guys next week.